Hey everyone, I am back. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. I hope that you have had a really good week. For those who are new to Mental Health Moment, welcome. It's Dr. Hammond here. We are here every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Black Women Empowered Incorporated Facebook page, YouTube, and LinkedIn Live. And hi, thanks for those who are starting to join here today. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. For those of you who tune in every single week, every single Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, welcome back. Thanks for those who are still starting to join here. I am in the Tampa Bay area of Florida today, and many of you, I'm sure, have heard the news. If you live in the U.S., or maybe it's global news, who knows, about Hurricane Ian, which is currently on the way to the Tampa Bay area and surrounding areas of Florida. So please keep us in your prayers, in your thoughts, in your good vibes, whatever you want to call it, because of course, with any major storm, there's a lot that can happen, unfortunately. So again, please keep us in your prayers for this hurricane that is coming here. And hi, thanks so much for those who are still starting to join here. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. So for right now, today the 2nd, I do have Wi-Fi, obviously, doing this mental health moment for you all. But who knows, by tomorrow, if we will have power here. I'm sure we are expected, obviously, to lose power with this hurricane on the way. But good evening to you as well. Thanks so much for those who are starting to join here. However, for today's mental health moment, that's actually one of the topics that I wanted to share with you, figuratively, if you will, of the storms that may be in your life. Because and thanks for those who are starting to join here. Zephyr Hills is in the house, South Africa. Welcome. Because, well, I've lived in Florida for a really long time, most of my life. And what's interesting is when it comes to these hurricanes nowadays, we can see them. We see them on the news, we see them coming, we see them getting stronger. We see the storm, if you will, on the way, which is better nowadays, obviously, because it gives us time to prepare. Just as how whatever storm is in your life or about to come, or you're outside of the storm, because really all of us are at a different point. Sometimes there is a storm coming in your life and you can see it coming, whatever that may be, whatever, unfortunately, if it's a loss, or if it's issues with work, or if it's issues with family or friends, or some type of storm, but you can see it coming, right? You see it coming. At that time, it's really important for you to work on mentally preparing. Where is your mindset at? And thanks for those who are still starting to join here. And thank you for your prayers. I see someone saying, praying for the state of Florida. Thank you. We definitely need it. But where is your mindset at if you know a particular storm is coming in your life, right? Because all mental health moments, right, that we talk about, for those of you who are not new, and we talk week after week after week about how to become the best version of yourselves. This is literally it's a training that your mind that you have to work on your mindset in order to be stronger, in order to go into this storm that, again, sometimes you see it coming, right? We see this hurricane coming. We can look at the map. We know it's on the way, right? But sometimes you are in a storm, and probably tomorrow is when the storm is supposed to arrive, and into Thursday and whatnot. Sometimes you are in this storm currently where you are so stressed out, where it feels like the winds and the rains and all the things are coming at you that is so overwhelming. And sometimes when you're in a storm that's that overwhelming, you are almost blinded by what is going on around you. That is the reality. So during that time, it's easier to prepare for something, right? But sometimes when you're in the midst of a storm, you're in the midst of a challenge or a battle or a setback in your life, sometimes you just have to wait it out. Like, that is the reality. Because the reality is, again, I've lived in Florida for a really long time, been through several major storms and hurricanes and that sort of thing. And sometimes the power goes out, you have to wait it out. There is nothing that is within my control. I do not work for Tampa Electric, nor can I magically make my power come back on. It's the same thing with the storm in your life sometimes. Sometimes things are just going to be so overwhelming that you have to wait it through. But while you're waiting it through, how are you handling, how are you taking care of yourself? Because that's going to be very important. And I've shared this before, but I want to share it again with you all as a reminder. I know, believe me, I know that there are storms that are so hard. You're like, Dr. Hammond, I just feel like giving up. Like, I don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. This is too difficult. However, as much as you can, try to find those moments of joy within the storms also. Even though it's going to be stressful, you are allowed to still have moments of joy. And I think back a couple years ago, we had another hurricane. And it was one of the scariest hurricanes back then that I had been through, and had the sandbags ready, and trying to prepare the house. And I remember my son was really young at the time, and I was concerned about him too going through this experience and him not being too traumatized from it. But again, understanding the reality of a hurricane and whatnot. And anyways, during that time, the power went out, of course, but we had flashlights, and it was like a little game for us. And we said, okay, we're gonna do flashlight wars. And he was really young at the time. So we were doing flashlight wars and just making it a fun experience for him. But that's something that we need to do also as adults, is just to find that little moment of joy even through the storms we're in. The third area, so again, if you're just not joining, thanks for those who are still starting to join here. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment, and we're talking about how to get through the storms in your life. And you're either waiting on the storm that you sometimes can see coming. You're in the storm currently, and it could be so overwhelming. Or the last part is the aftermath, right? Maybe the storm is over, so we know in a couple days here in Florida this hurricane will be over, but there will be aftermath. And that sometimes is the hardest part. And so after whatever your storm, again, if you're before the storm, during, or after the storm, when you really think about how can you start to sort of pick up the pieces, how can you put things back together? And sometimes your heart, and I mean your heart where you have feelings and emotions, not your physical heart that beats, but your heart sometimes is damaged by a certain situation that happens to you. Or maybe physically you have just been through so much that you're overwhelmed and you're fatigued, or mentally or emotionally, right? So you never know how this storm is going to affect you, but it's really, really, really important in the aftermath of the storm that you're in, that you're making sure to take care of yourselves and be gentle with yourselves. And sometimes you have to adjust the expectations that you have of yourself, right? So who knows what will happen with this storm? We don't we know obviously an estimate of where this storm may hit coming up here in Florida, but nonetheless, one of the things that's interesting about storms, by the way, um, is that, or any natural disaster really, is that people start to really come together. It's the most amazing thing. I wish this could happen more often, but people start to come together as a community. People start to help each other out. And people are so supportive, and it's amazing. And sometimes for some of you, this is true too, when you're within your own storm or after this storm, and there are people around you, like just good, supportive people around you, whether it's your friends, whether it's your family members, that they will support you in whatever the storm is that you went through. So make sure that you open your heart and allow them to support you in that way, because that's going to be very, very important too. Support is so critically important for your mental health, you all. So important. And I know, I get it. For some of you, you're like, Dr. Hammond, it's hard for me to feel the support or allow people to support or help me. I get that. But hopefully one of your goals is to allow yourself again to feel that joy, allow your heart and your mind to be open to experiencing someone else helping you too through that storm. So again, wherever you're at with before a storm, if you're in the storm, or even dealing with the aftermath of a storm, I really, really encourage you to understand that you can get through this. And And the great one of the greatest things that you can also have for yourself is hope. Because again, my mindset is so powerful. That's why I'm on here with you all every single week on mental health moment, because I know as a psychologist, I know personally, I know professionally, this is a study I've done not just in graduate school, but I spent a lot of time researching mindset, because it is a very powerful thing when you take the time to train your brain, when you take the time to build up who you are emotionally and mentally. It really makes life easier. I cannot predict for you your storms. I can't control that. I don't control the weather. I don't have those superpowers, right? We don't control the storms that are outside, the weather. We don't control the storms. Some of it we can't control in our lives, right? But what we can control is our reaction to it. What we can control is making sure that we're taking care of ourselves, even though it's going to be really difficult at times. And what we can control is allowing the support that we have. Sometimes it may not be family members, it may not be friends, it may be your coworker or your neighbor or whomever it is in your life, because there's some really amazing people out there. And you may not, there may be no blood relationship to them, which is fine, but they're really amazing people who are there for you. So open up your hearts and minds and allow them to help you as well. And thanks for those who are still starting to join here. I see New Jersey's in the house, New Brunswick, Canada's here. Let's see, California's in the house, Houston. Someone said, I'm praying. Thank you very much. We appreciate your prayers. Again, with this storm coming here, Jesus comes in the midst of the storm. Absolutely. Someone is here from Atlanta. Welcome, welcome. I will be there next week. Speaking here, praying for you and my family and friends in the path of Hurricane Ian. May God cover and protect each and every one of us. Yes, thank you. And same to you. And my prayers definitely go out again to Florida, all the surrounding states where this storm may be affecting, obviously, as well. My prayers are definitely there for you as well. And thank you for your prayers. I see all your prayers in here. Good evening from Philadelphia. Welcome, welcome. Let's see. Iowa's here. Welcome, welcome. I was at a conference today, and the speaker was from Florida. Her home is in the path of the storm. Praying for you all. Thank you, for sure, for sure. And someone said that they have had a storm in their life. Absolutely. And you know what? You know what's interesting, you all? So today I'm talking about storms and how we can get through this, because there is a storm that is literally coming to the Tampa Bay area of Florida, and surrounding areas of Florida, of course, as well. But sometimes you may not be in a storm in your life, and it's sunshine and it's happy and it's great, which is amazing. We all have different seasons. We are all at different places in our life. We are all, as I always tell you all, we are all at different places in our wellness journey. There is nothing wrong with that. And there is nothing wrong if you are, again, in the storm, before you see the storm coming, you're in the aftermath, or wherever you're at in that process. There is nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with you. The fact that you're going through that, every single one of us, myself included, every single one of us have our storms. They all look different, but we have an opportunity to grow from that experience, as hard as it may be sometime, and also to make sure that not only we grow, but that we get through that experience, and we make sure that we are taking care of ourselves, learning more about ourselves, and becoming stronger as a result of it. Someone said they're here from San Francisco. Welcome. Someone said, yesterday I experienced my first moment of joy in 22 years. That's amazing. It said it was, this person said it was amazing. That is incredibly amazing. I'm very happy for you. God is good. Everything comes through his grace. Absolutely. And good for you. You all are allowed to be happy. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to be emotionally healthy. You deserve to have joy. You absolutely deserve those things. Do not let depression, anxiety, negative thinking, all of those things, because we all battle some form of negative thinking at some point, but do not allow it to take control of your life and trick you your mind trick you into thinking you do not deserve joy. You do. You do deserve joy and you do deserve to be happy. So please always remember that. Someone said the triumph comes after adversity. Absolutely. Praying for you. Thank you for your prayers again. Um, Someone said, God bless you. God bless America and God we trust. Thank you. Thank you. Mississippi's in the house. North Carolina. Cincinnati is here too with a smiley face. Um, and I see all of your comments about your prayers. So again, I thank you so much for that. And I am praying also about Hurricane Ian, which is rapidly arriving to the Florida area and surrounding areas. So good evening from Nashville, Tennessee. Welcome, welcome. Someone said, I'm still in the storm. You know, and what's interesting about the storms that we have in our lives are, again, sometimes we see them coming and we can prepare. Sometimes we do not see them coming. There 2022, not gonna lie you all, there are some things that I did not see coming. Really, really difficult things. Very stressful things that I did not see coming at all. However, well, first of all, through the grace of God, I got through that. But um, secondly, because of working on mindset, because of working on the mental toughness, because of working on putting on a like almost an armor, right? A mental armor to prepare for the things that may come. Again, sometimes we see the storms, sometimes we don't. I was able to deal with that situation or situations as best as I could. So that is something that I also want you to keep in mind. It's not about, well, let's wait until something bad is about to happen to prepare. No, the your mindset shift and the training that it takes for you to be mentally stronger should be something that you dedicate yourself to every single day in some way or fashion. And if you've missed some mental health moments, you can go to my YouTube page and see we talk at length about ways, to be emotionally strong and emotionally healthy. But again, it's about making that commitment for you so that when these storms come, which they will at some point, that we can manage them, that we can get through, that we can take care of ourselves as best as we can. Yep, someone said mental health is real. It is very real indeed. New Orleans is joining us today. Thank you. Welcome. Haiti's in the house. DMV's here. Viewing from Southwest Pacific Ocean. Welcome, welcome. Let me see who else is here. Toronto's in the house. Welcome. Um, yep, someone said it makes the mindset enlarged to greater and higher heights. My prayers are sent out to everyone. Thank you, God. No stored storms, trust in God. Yes, absolutely. And oh, I like that actually what you just said. No stored storms. And that's great because sometimes even after you get through a storm, that aftermath time period is really, really going to be important because depending on what your storm was, especially when it comes to things that are very traumatic or very difficult to deal with, it's really critically important after you get out of that situation for you to be thinking about how do I start to heal? Now you're in the healing journey. Sometimes when you're in the midst of a storm, you can't, it's so overwhelming. There's no healing in that time, which is okay. If you can, great. But a lot of times there's no time to heal. You're trying to deal with the situation. And sometimes for some of us, our brain, we're so overwhelmed that we just shut down because it's so overwhelming. But again, after that situation, that's when we need to think about, okay, now what is my path to healing look like? And that's a whole nother process that we'll be talking about in these last couple months of the year here about the healing journey. But all of our healing journeys look different depending on what the storm is that we went through. Um, and also what our resources are, who we are, and what our strengths are. And I think everyone has strengths. It's just that our strengths are different depending on who you are. Um, and oh, I love that. Someone said their affirmation is, I am deserving of love. I love that affirmation. And another one was, I deserve to be happy. You absolutely deserve to be happy. I love that too. Um, Let me see here. Good evening from Philly. Welcome, welcome. Good evening from Louisiana. Welcome. Sending prayers. Thank you. Thank you. So, so again, for those of you just tuning in here today, we're talking a lot about getting through the storms in your life, and for you to really be assessing for you, where are you at? Are you preparing? Are you preparing for something that you know is going to be happening soon in your life? That's going to be stressful, whether it's to you personally or a family member, friend, or whomever it is that you care about. That can that could be a lot sometimes to prepare it because it takes a toll mentally, but mindset is very key. Or are you currently in the midst of a storm right now? Or are you on the other side of it? You're like, man, I just got out of the storm, but I got to deal with all the things that happen because of the storm, right? Um, Everyone is in a different season, and that is absolutely okay. Absolutely okay. But the biggest thing again is for you to think about, where are you at, understanding we're all at different places in our wellness journey, but mindset is very important. Take the time for you, whatever it is that works for you to bring you joy. Take the time to put more joy into your life. Take more time for the mindfulness, take more time for your self-care. Please take care of yourself. I beg of you, because it's very, very important, especially and no matter what stage of the storm that you're in. And good evening to you as well. And again, as I wrap up here today, I just would love to ask of you to continue with your. I see a lot of you in the comments, and I really appreciate that again. But just continue to pray for this storm, for the real storm, Hurricane Ian, that's coming again to Florida area, and I mean it's going to hit other states as well. But your prayers, your good thoughts, your good vibes are very appreciated. And I will be back next Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on Black Women Empowered Incorporated Facebook page, YouTube, and LinkedIn Live. Dr. Nekeshia Hammond is my website. If you have any questions, if you need any resources. Also, I did update to the website, as I mentioned a while back. So all of my speaking engagements will be on there. I'll update it as I get that information. I will be in Atlanta next week. The in-person conference though is closed. I believe there's some virtual tickets still available, but again, you can go to drnekeshiahammond.com to always get that information. And then in November, there's a couple of virtual events, which I'll be putting on the website soon. So if you want to join any of those, you are more than welcome to join. And you can connect with me on social, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, or Twitter. So just look for drnekeshiahammond.com, and I'm more than happy to connect with you. But yes, someone said, I'm on a wellness journey. Yes, we are all on a wellness journey together, every single one of us. We all have mental health. We all have our strengths. We all have things to work on. It is all good. We're all on this wellness journey together. And someone said, praying for Florida. Thank you. Thank you for your prayers. But I will see you all next Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Times. And if you are in Florida yourself, be safe, or any of the surrounding areas with the storm, be safe. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your loved ones. And I'll see you all next Tuesday. So take care, y'all.